Everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I will be sharing with y'all two stocks that y'all should be keeping in your watch list for tomorrow. I'm also going to be answering some of you guys' questions for those of y'all who dropped the stocks of interest in the comment section of last night's video. Before we begin, do not forget to annihilate the like button on your way in, and also do not forget to subscribe if you are new to the channel. Alright, so let's begin. Um, right off the bat, the SPY today, it was very choppy. I wasn't very impressed. I told y'all yesterday, for those of y'all who watched that video, that we could see a massive run in the middle of the day. The playbook that I gave you was this, where I think it was only 4 hour. No, the 1 hour. I'm pretty sure it was only 1 hour. Yeah, I told y'all to watch for something that looked like this, where we drop towards at least 41.35, maybe even lower towards 41.20, and then immediately we see a huge surge and we close really strong. All right, we got a miniature version of that. That's why I wasn't impressed. Like, as soon as it opened, it was the drop was not as low as I wanted, and this rally right here kind of caught me off guard. Like, I didn't think this would happen. I thought it would just be flat and then the drop and then a massive move. It looked bullish right here too. After, let me just look at the Nasdaq, since that one's cleaner, and we're gonna talk about that one too. So in regards to the Nasdaq, it looked sort of kind of bullish midday, as if it was going to do something. Y'all see right here, right? So it breaks out and pretty much drags its feet and then forms something else and breaks down later that day. Very irritating, and I didn't see that massive move that I warned y'all about yesterday. Now, is this the bottom? I think y'all should be careful. For those of y'all who are like heavily long biased, I was yesterday, but today again, this is not what I envisioned. This is not what I thought would happen today. What I'm seeing right now is a bear flag right here. All right, it's quite narrow, and the longer it stays in here, and the lower the volume, the higher the chances of us seeing a collapse either at the open tomorrow, somewhere on here, or midday tomorrow. I'm watching for that. Again, just because I didn't like the lack of volume, the lack of participation from the heavy buyers. I didn't see that. It's usually kind of obvious, like especially with previous massive dips that occurred in the past, you would know. But this time it's just different. So I'm leaning a little bit bearish. We'll see how it opens. Again, if we don't get out of this zone right here, if we do not get out of this zone, especially to the upside towards like 13,400, like it closed on Thursday around here somewhere, you should really be careful. Really be careful. All right, because if that breaks, we're going straight down to 12,400 down here by Friday easily. All right, so that's my honest thoughts on the overall markets and the things that happened today. Now, the top two stocks. The first one that y'all should be keeping in your watch list is one for the bears. All right, and that one is TSM. And I know I shared TSM in the past to y'all, but this time I realized something. The what I shared with y'all was this: the pattern over here. It was there. It was easy. We made money on it. All right, it was clean. This is TSM right here. So the pattern was this. But what I realized today is that this is a pattern within a pattern. It's actually like much bigger. If we zoom in closely, and then I'm not gonna remove that. I'm just gonna draw right over it. All right. there's another descending triangle on the chart. It's overlapping, and the entry is the same for both the smaller and the bigger um, pattern. And right now, I don't think it's quite done yet. I'm not being greedy. And I'm looking at the daily chart. If you look at how clean this thing is, I don't think this is quite done. Even if we open up higher, let's say it opens up, like, let's say the whole market opens up like it is right now, positive 1% or positive 1.5%. As long as it's still chilling in here, like in this region, we may see this overlap right here where we have another red candle. It starts high and it ends up low. If this happens, then this is another classic example of what's to come on Friday, where we fall like that. All right. So watch out for tomorrow. We could see this thing play out quite well. I noticed it today. I didn't notice it before. Maybe it would have changed how I would have approached it. Maybe not, but now I really see that it's massive. It's there, and I cannot unsee it. So watch TSM for pretty much that what I just drew right here. One red candle, it might be overlapping, right? Like right in the front or engulfing, I would say. And then Friday could be just be a disaster, especially if we close red tomorrow on Thursday, and that bear flag that I showed y'all on Nasdaq breaks down, right? It could head straight down to 12,400, and we could see more pain coming very soon. So that's the first stock that y'all should be keeping in your watch list. Now, the next stock that y'all should be keeping in your watch list for tomorrow, that stock is JD. All right, this one is for the longs. Now, regarding JD, the daily chart is looking quite good. There is a morning star right here at the bottom. And somebody could argue that this is not a morning star, and yeah, I know. I just named it that because it looks like it. Like if you just shift this candle a little bit lower right here, or just in the center, the combination of these three, this is a morning star. Now, if we move on to the 4-hour, there is a flag on here, a bull flag, that broke out overnight last night, right here on JD. All right, and also if you zoom in closely, you zoom in real deep, you can see this thing forming right over here. All right, so we got the flag on JD right here, and then we got this bullish pennant on JD right here, which broke out after hours. It's around like, it's at $57.95. I think that it can move higher. Chinese stocks have the tendency to make massive moves overnight. So if the move is not too massive and it opens up at like 59.70ish, you can expect a run all the way up to 65 at least, and at most 70 for this specific play. All right, so that's the two stocks that I wanted to share with all of you. Now let's answer some of you guys' questions. We got a few minutes. So the first one that I'm going to answer, we gotta talk about Facebook. Facebook crushed earnings today. All right. Now this is Facebook right here. Let's see. Okay, so Facebook crushed earnings. I don't know what the numbers are, but I'm sure they beat on their EPS and also missed their revenue. I think they did. I'm pretty sure they did. Again, check the numbers out. Go on Google. The numbers are there, but the reaction is what we want to talk about. So this is the reaction right here. Where is it going to go next? I think the top for this one is probably around like 213, and then it's gonna go right back down to $200. I don't expect too much from Facebook. I think people are just gonna take their money off the table. Now, something that I wanted to share with, especially for those of you who are beginners, right? You're looking at this and you're like, oh my god, I wish I gambled my money through earnings. I wish I knew that this thing was going to bounce. How do you know that this thing was going to bounce? Well, Well, we're gonna look at it on like a bigger picture, right? Now, was this support, or did it have more room to the bottom? It did have a lot of room. Obviously, it has a lot of room lower, right over here. This is the the pandemic lows right there. But if you just go back a little bit more, and then you just take this drawing tool, you can see that the support right here got hit. It got tagged quite perfectly, right? So now another thing, does this actually work for everything? And the answer is going to be shown with Netflix. All right. So this is Netflix. So if we just apply the same principle that I just showed you with Netflix, we just go all the way back, and it's there. I'm pretty sure it's there. Yeah, it's there. So we got Netflix right here, right? So if we just take the same principle and we just go all the way forward right here, and you saw this, like you had this knowledge, and you're like, oh my god, this is at support. It's time to buy calls. You would have gotten annihilated again. So this thing doesn't. It really. This is why I say that holding through earnings is 150% gambling. All right. This is exactly why, because it worked for one, but it didn't work for another. And it's pretty much like flipping a coin. It's 50-50. Like, you don't know. These reactions are very, very unpredictable, right? Regardless of, they missed on one thing, but the reaction was still positive. This one right here, I mean, Netflix, I mean, they got some, there's some like issues with the numbers. The numbers were very, very bad, along with like I think a lot of loss in revenue. And this was not predictable, but not surprising either. All right. So again, moral of the story with earnings: if you missed it, don't feel too bad. It could have went either way. It is gambling. If you gamble through it, you're up, and congrats to you. If you made some money on it, do not get too greedy tomorrow. The highest I see it going is around like 214 before we go down. All right, so that's my very honest opinion on all of these stocks, and that is the end of the video. Again, do not forget to annihilate the like button for the YouTube algorithm. As always, helps the channel a lot and allows more people to get this knowledge as well. Also, if you are new to this channel and you haven't done so already, definitely click on subscribe and click on the notification bell along with all notifications. That way you don't miss out on future uploads. If you'd like to be part of a private Discord community, you can find it as the first link in the description of the video below. If you haven't added me on social media yet, you can find me at Paul and Ngumah and at PATTERNOLOGY LAB on Instagram and on Twitter. And lastly, if all of this is brand new to you, if you'd like to get started in the stock market, there are some very basic step-by-step directions in the description of the video below. Step 1 to step 3. Right, if you'd like to get some free stocks, you can also find the third link in the description of the video too to sign up with Weibo. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul and Ngumah with PATTERNOLOGY LAB, where we trade patterns and patterns only. And I will see all of you in the next video.